One of the things that I have noticed is that in the Gospels, when Yeshua talked about what the kingdom of heaven is like, he would typically take analogies, stories, and things that had happened in the common culture of his day, and he would compare the kingdom of heaven to things that people knew about. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is I enjoy hearing about what other people have learned about and having them teach me, sometimes in only a small fashion, about things that they know. So when I hear of someone talk about art or art history, I learn about the world. When I hear about someone talk about an area of physics that I am not well versed in, I understand the world. When I hear about biochemistry, that again teaches me something about the world. When I was young, one of my passions was music. I started playing trumpet in 5th grade. I ended up being apparently very awful at the very beginning, according to what I understood later from my band director, but ended up getting to a point where I had a love of music. And I had taken up trumpet because there were people like Louis Armstrong, Bix Beiderbecke, Al Hirt, Herb Alpert, Chet Baker, a whole variety of other trumpet players, including Clifford Brown, who spoke through the wordless melodies and rhythms of their trumpet solos, sometimes improvisations, sometimes scripted out. And so what ended up happening for me is I came to learn to love the instrument, but during my teenage years, I also came to a place where I had opportunity to hear excellent jazz musicians play concerts live. And as this happened, I ended up starting to learn that jazz was not merely a matter of something that pleased your ear, but it was also something where the musician was expressing his soul wordlessly through the solos that were taken. And sometimes there would be jazz musicians who would perform live, and what would end up happening is it would just be amazing the joy that they felt that day. There were other times where musicians showed up and there was a sadness, there was a depression, there was a sense of their spirit or their soul that came through the expression of their music on a given afternoon. But however it worked, what ended up happening was these musicians were expressing their heart through this, and it was the job and the responsibility of the listener to pay enough attention to the point where you could feel what was being expressed through this solo. I just mentioned this today because as people who are working our way through this present creation, there are going to be a variety of ways that you feel. And the way that you feel in no way, shape, or form ends up defining you, but it is part of the ebb and flow and the process of being a human being. And I really hope that as you learn of different things, you also learn the way to communicate. And in some cases, we will communicate through words. In other cases, we will communicate through gestures, through your face, through a look, or through something that's indirect. But as we do this, there is a celebration of who we are, of what we are moving through and of where God is ultimately bringing us.